Welcome to Goddess Behavior, the podcast where ancient myths meets modern main character energy.
We're your hosts, Steph and Laura.
No textbooks, just great stories, hot takes, and some unhinged ancient audacity.
So pour a drink, fix your crown, and step into your mythic era.
This
is Goddess Behavior. All right.
Okay, superstitions.
We're superstitious today. Yeah.
Just a little stitious.
A little bit.
I think just all of this folklore that we've been talking about, it just felt right.
Yeah. I mean, it really had me thinking about things that I did as a kid.
Yeah.
Which is like kind of what led
I've
me
been
here.
racking my brain and I cannot think of literally one that I remember that sticks out. I know all of them by like just
hearing about them. Yeah.
But I don't ever remember being like, oh gosh, I have to do that. Like I have to knock on wood or I have to I don't ever remember that. Even as a kid where you kind of buy into these things a little bit more maybe.
I mean, mine, I think especially younger.
Yeah.
I just thought it was like kind of a game.
Yeah,
right?
Sure.
Where like
I guess that's what I meant.
You would jump over the cracks or you would like.
Exactly. Or the pennies got this heads up. Or
Or like, oh, I'm not going to pick that one up. You know,
Right.
like it was just like a fun game.
Yeah,
so for me, because I did live in such a small town, we rode the bus. Like the elementary school, middle school, high schoolers all rode one bus. And
Did you also all go to the same school in
they were
one
very
room?
close to each other though. Like, no, we had separate buildings.
My dad grew up in a one-room schoolhouse. So
my
it did get bigger as he got older, but it was small. So
now mine was an old bomb shelter. So there's that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Appalachia.
Yeah, so good. But anyway, so every day we would pass a cemetery.
Okay.
And the older kids
Appalachia.
And the older kids would be like, hold your breath, hold your breath.
Oh my gosh, we definitely did that.
And it didn't, like as a kid, you're just like, okay, I don't know why, but sure. And so like eventually, like every day we knew we were driving past the cemetery, we'd hold our breath.
Yeah.
So I looked into it as in like later in life, right?
Yeah.
So there's two different things.
Okay.
One dates back to more of like the Native American.
Sure. Yeah.
Where your spirit could be free wandering.
Oh, okay.
And if you breathe by a cemetery, their spirit might enter your body.
Oh,
right?
Yeah, two souls.
Like, spooky. So like, hold your breath. Don't let the spirit in.
Yeah.
The other one is just, it's bad luck. Like they were just like, don't do that because bad things will happen.
I was
and you're like,
say,
okay.
I feel like I definitely remember doing that. Wow. Memories. And I didn't know I had.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and even so like our kids are young.
Yeah.
And Parker and Owen jump over cracks. And they
Bronson
think it's
told me,
so
he's
funny.
like, I picked up a penny today that had its head up. I was like, oh, okay.
Oh, good.
Good for
Yeah. And you're like, where does this come from?
Or
it's interesting.
Actually, he said to me today, he's like, I picked up a coin. And I said, was it heads up? And he's like, I don't know. Like, oh my God.
Oh like, no, bad luck. Yeah. Never know. 50-50.
Yeah. True. Truly.
So these superstitions are just somehow still, it feels almost innate. Like we're young children who I've never taught them that.
No.
Like, I don't remember teaching them that, right?
No.
But they still do it.
Just passed around
It's
and still
interesting.
people talk about
in fun
these
ways.
things. And
right.
it's funny. I mean, I think it's like kind of how people explain things they couldn't explain, right?
Totally.
So, similar to like a folklore story, you have these little sayings that make it easy to remember things that either protect you from something or keep something away or,
absolutely.
Things to do with luck, like we were just talking about. Yep. So there's a lot of overlap there, I think.
Yeah, and if you can sing it or it's fun, right?
Yeah,
you're more likely to remember it.
So what is a superstition?
So I think of it as a repeated behavior meant to sort of influence a time of uncertainty or help with luck, protection, or maybe an outcome that you are uncertain of.
Right. So like if you're thinking about it from like our perspective on the podcast, right? Like mythology explains the cosmos and these big picture ideas. Folklore explains the way a community operates or the reason why a community does things a certain way. And superstitions regulate specific behavior.
Like a behavior. Yeah.
So it's even more
action.
niche, like a subcategory almost, right?
Like a funnel. Superstitions would be at the bottom.
Yeah, exactly. So it's regulating a kid's behavior or a person specifically, right?
Yeah.
Which makes you really think about the psychology behind it all, right? Superstitions, like we said, are still around. So why is it like still like in our brains like that, right? It's so crazy. Okay. So when we are uncertain about something, we cling to things that help us feel more grounded or more comfortable, right? So these superstitious behaviors are things that we'll create to help us out through these uncertain times, right? Yeah, like they can seem random, but it's something that's comforting in a time of difficulty, right?
Yeah, when we feel uncertain about something, it's a lot like what we were talking about with Appalachia last week, is that when there's uncertainty or when you're like, hey, maybe we don't wander off into the woods, right? There's a story behind it. Well, now there's an action behind it.
Right.
And I think that that's where superstitions come into play.
And it kind of almost helps give explanation more than just the story, right? It's like, okay, this is what I do. If you're like, I've heard the story, now I know what
this is what I should do, or not do.
And so it gives you like this perceived control. So like even if you don't actually have control, it makes you feel like you have that, or even maybe a community identity, right? So it's something that your community does. So it's something that helps you feel connected to them, in some way, right?
Like with sports fans.
Yes.
I feel like when we start this, I picture like even I have a kid in T-ball and a kid, that's been playing for several years. And they all know to turn their hats backwards in the 7th inning, right? Like, it's so cute. And it's not,
or just like,
no one really tells them to do that. Like,
no, exactly.
They just have seen it. And so they do it. And or they're like, yeah, this is it.
Like playoff beards, like where they're like have these like awful, like massive beards, and they're like, why? Because it's lucky. Like, okay,
and you're like, sure, fine,
and also like again with baseball, walk-up songs,
don't step on the foul lines. The 7th inning stretch, I guess, could kind of be one, right?
Or like certain colored shoes, or things like that.
There are so many things.
It's like
that sports fans will do,
right? And in that way, it's like, when the outcome is so important to that person, they'll do anything to make sure that happens,
to help that outcome.
And again, it's a control thing. Like, can you really control it? No, but we're going to do everything I can to make sure I can.
And it is still, like what we were saying earlier, it's a sense of community.
Right.
It's your teammates are doing it with you. The other fans in the stands are doing it with you. And so you feel that sense of like togetherness. And it's nice.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it makes it fun.
Totally.
Yeah. I mean, Swifties with the friendship bracelets. It's not a superstition, but it's like a piece of something that
is bigger
that brings, that brought everyone together.
Right. Or like team colors, or colors that, as a community you wear together, or, things like that.
It's like you couldn't go without one. So like,
no, of course. We even made them for Owens Bronson for graduation.
They had to have them.
They were so cute. So another thing that's difficult to control, right, would be nature, weather event, right?
Weather, right.
So
especially pre-technology.
I was going to say,
there was no weather channel to like warn you of an impending storm. Yeah.
So you use these like superstitious things, sayings, or
rain dance. I did that. I for sure did
rain
that.
Dance for
or like
sure.
we would do, because we would really want it to snow. Like as kids in Virginia, we were like,
please, I will do anything.
Give us the snow day.
No, totally. We used to rain dance a lot when I was swimming, because we were like, get us out of practice.
There you
Put
go.
the lightning in the sky.
Totally. Yeah.
We used to. Oh, here's some lore. So at my team, right, we practiced outside. We were down in South Florida.
Yeah, here too.
It's hot all the time. Yeah, but here too, which is crazy town. But anyway, it's too cold here for that. We used to say that our Coach Jay, had a dome over the pool so that the lightning alarm never went off. Like
oh my
we just had
gosh.
he was like somehow
No, we're
controlling
practicing.
it, or
Yeah.
he had a button that he could turn it on and off, because we're like, there is no way.
Yep.
Like
nope, he's controlling it, obviously. Yeah.
And there would be times where we're like, that lightning is really close. I think he turned it off. Like,
yeah.
like,
wait a second. Like, you unplug the lightning alarm.
Especially in the summer when it like storms every afternoon. Mm-hmm. And it would be for like 30 minutes, but it would just be like so annoying, because then we get 30 minutes pushed back and we'd get out of practice late. And we would do that.
It just delays everything.
Yeah. So like these weather things, again, we did do whatever we could.
Yeah, weather is a big piece of like, again, the dance didn't affect the whether it was going to rain or not.
Now I
but
realize
in my child brain, I really thought that it did. I was like, this is so fun.
Apparently, I was not summoning the right deities. That's what I decided. I needed to call on Zeus or Thor. Yeah. Like, I was going the wrong way about this. Yeah, so I think a great one is like the red sky at night.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, red sky at night. I think we see that a lot here.
For sure,
I've seen it for sure.
Especially when my husband is always trying to be at work on a ship, at home on a boat. Yes. And I'm like, come on.
I know. Yeah, so it's red sky at night, sailors delight. Red sky in morning, sailors take warning.
Yeah.
So
if the sky is red when we wake up, we're not going out on the boat.
You really like that?
Yeah, that's so that's just how that'll be.
Captain Brad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and then you have all these animal-related things. You know, owls are linked to omens and crickets.
Crickets? I think crickets because they're weather-related.
Yeah, or because they summons, they bring on a storm.
We know
quote,
now they're weather-related, but they did not. Yes. So when they heard a bunch of crickets, they were like, oh, it's going to rain.
Yep.
Crows and ravens usually were delivering, they were messengers, right?
Yeah. Also, I don't know if you've ever heard these, but like when someone's talking about you, your ears
are burning. Yeah. So my grandmother would say that. Yeah. I think that there's definitely a generation of people who really felt like that was true.
Yeah. I also saw that itchy palms have to do with money, like that you're going to make money. Oh, and the first thing that I thought of was theater superstitions. Like they are the most superstitious.
Yeah, they're such a superstitious group of people.
And I don't know if people know about this, but in a theater, you never, when you're physically in it, you never mention Macbeth.
That tracks.
Which, if you know the story of Macbeth,
you know why.
The Macbeth superstition is basically centered around bad luck. It brings bad luck if you mention Macbeth, right?
Yeah.
So to avoid inviting the curse, they refer to it as the Scottish play or the Bard's play. Oh, the Bard.
The Bard.
He's back again.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So according to the lore behind the superstition is that Shakespeare used actual black magic and a real spell book in the witches' incantations in the play.
So they were afraid it would summon something.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
They thought it was real.
Yeah.
So legend states that a real coven of witches, angered by the plagiarism, cursed the production. So that's why we don't they don't
even bring it up
in the unless you're doing the play.
Oh my gosh.
And it also has like a lot of sword fighting and darker themes like falls and injuries. So if you're bringing it up in a way that like it just has a lot of bad
implications,
situations where if somebody like could fall off the stage or, get hurt by accident or whatever. That's another thing.
It would set it up in that way where you're like,
exactly.
Blame Macbeth, or I guess
the
M word.
Right. The M word.
The M word.
I love it.
Yeah.
So like even at the 1606 premiere, the boy actor who was playing Lady Macbeth, because all the actors were men.
Yes.
So historically, Macbeth is a short, popular play often staged by theater companies when they need money, essentially. So
it's well known.
Yeah. So the play kind of gets this blame of like, it gets associated with this like financial woe instead too. So there's like a lot of reasons why this superstition came to be, right?
Yeah. And I mean, there's even like a whole thing of if you accidentally say it, what that person has to do to like right the wrong, to like kind of fix it. So they have to like step outside the theater building, turn in a circle 3 times, spit over your left shoulder.
Oh my gosh.
And then recite a line from another Shakespeare play. So you could say a line from Hamlet or Midsummer's Night's Dream. Honestly, I wasn't a theater kid. So all of this is new information to me.
My sister was. I should have consulted her first. It would have made a lot of sense.
So to me, that's a lot of steps to take. They clearly took this curse very seriously.
Yes.
So
sure.
This is a superstition where I'm like, okay, I'd probably do that. You freaked me out enough to where I would do that just to be sure I wasn't the person to curse the entire thing.
Yeah. Well, and I was thinking just theater in general, right? Like so much can go wrong in
That's
a production.
Yeah, there's a lot of pieces.
Right. So then them being superstitious about exactly things going a certain way, I can see how it becomes, don't do that because something will go wrong. Like it's,
don't do
again,
that.
like
Don't
sports,
say that.
it's not different in that way.
So I think what we're really seeing here is whether you're an athlete or a thespian, that a lot of these superstitions are meant to protect yourself.
For sure.
And so like with what we were saying with the theater and accidentally saying that M word, how you spit over your left shoulder. Like there are very specific things that then you do to protect that from not coming about.
Yeah, exactly. So speaking of protection, there is a lot of protection, superstition, magic. That comes up over many different cultures, not just ours or
we see these a lot. I think that's also why it's so fun is you can see them across many countries.
It's interesting too how they become the same thing too. The commonalities are almost human, not related to any particular culture.
Right. That's cool.
Yeah. So salt is often used for purification and as a barrier in magic practice in general. But it's arguably one of the oldest protective substances that we have.
I love that for my margarita.
Oh yeah. Oh, margarita is a protection. is 1,000% a spell, and I love it. Not only does it have a supernatural property, but it has very real ones, right? So salt preserves, it kills bacteria, it slows down decay. I mean, if you salt fish, it
there was a reason that meats were kept in like barrels of salt.
Right.
Like they coated them in salt.
Yeah. Again, this is before refrigeration, right? So you needed a way to keep it from rotting too fast, right? It's almost like miraculous how it does it. It just completely stops that process.
Just property of salt.
Right.
Yeah.
And cultures the world over drew the logic extension that if salt stops physical decomposition or corruption, then it must also stop spiritual, which makes so much sense. I'm like, sure. And I mean, in European folklore specifically, evil spirits, witches, and the devil himself cannot cross a line of salt.
Yeah. I mean, we see it a lot in books that we read.
For sure.
And I think salt is usually used in that way.
Capacity. I mean, isn't it in, what's it called?
It's in Crescent City.
Oh yeah,
Bryce and Hunt.
Is it?
I mean, I think
the black obsidian salt.
It's a really big. It's a really big piece of a lot of those
and the salt mines of Endovier.
Salt is big.
Yeah, I think
it's the salt mines as like a liminal space is also very interesting.
So, like we said, we
plenty
can get
into
it
there.
Pinching salt and throwing it over your left shoulder after a spill becomes a standard practice, for people everywhere. I mean, I remember doing that.
My brother does that still. And I'm like,
why? Why are we doing that?
And he's like, well, I've been doing it for this long. I gotta keep going at it. And I'm like, okay.
Exactly. And in Japan, salt is scattered at thresholds after funerals to purify spaces from death's contamination.
Yeah.
So it's like cleansing a space.
That's very interesting. And the way that they treat spirits, right? That makes sense.
Yeah. Ancient Romans salted sacrificial animals, and the word salary even comes from the Latin salarium, salt given as wages. So they used salt as a form of money at the time.
Yeah, as a currency. Yeah, I could see that.
So it literally was worth its weight.
Oh, smart.
So it's interesting how it holds all of this mystical value, and it also actually had literal
weight,
carried
currency.
weight. So in Jewish tradition, the story of Lot's wife, which is in Genesis 19, is instructive. She looks back at the destruction of Sodom and is turned into a pillar of herself. Interesting, right?
Mhm.
Salt here is both punishment and preservation. She is stopped, frozen, made permanent. But for centuries, salt was also placed in the mouths of the dead before burial across Celtic and Appalachian traditions.
Yeah. So
we're back
again,
to Appalachia.
there's very
yeah.
similar people that inhabited those mountains.
1,000%. Yeah, so it was again to prevent
Preservation
them
and
coming from their spirits coming
back out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It didn't just protect the living, but it also released the dead from their human existence.
It allowed them to move on, right? Like they
it closed the liminal space.
Yes.
It kept it from being
They were like,
porous.
no, we're done with you.
Yes, that is enough.
I mean, also seen in a lot of books that we read is the significance of iron.
Oh, yes. Very repellent.
Yeah.
if you will. It's very bug spray.
Which is so funny to say it that way, but like,
yes,
literally, iron doors, iron gates,
horseshoes.
Yeah, there's so many things here.
And it's a grounding thing, which is interesting because it's mined out of the ground.
It
so
is.
it's interesting
So
how that gets that
linked to its
connotation.
origin. And
Yeah,
okay. It's as a protective substance is almost exclusively rooted in fairy lore.
Mm-hmm.
The logic is fascinating. So fairies, elves, and the fae are older than iron.
Mm.
And so they belong to a pre-metal world, a time of stone and wood and bone.
Mm.
So iron had to be forged.
Right. So you need
and
more technology.
you needed like the industry, right?
Yeah.
And it is the technology of the human world. And so it is
Not
seen
the
as a
fae.
repellent to that ancient original world.
Gotcha.
Right?
Yeah.
The opposite of that. Horseshoes hung above doors weren't just about luck. They were iron barriers.
Right. Yeah. It's funny. We don't see as much iron anymore. Like it's not used as much to make things like more building material than like household items, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think just even as like a design choice, we've moved really far away from that.
Yeah.
But wow.
Yeah. So cold iron that's not heated or worked with, so like raw iron, was considered especially potent. Touching iron or saying cold iron was a ward against fairy mischief across the British Isles.
Where they felt like fairies would like come into their home and be mischief. Our little brownies.
I know. Why are we keeping them out?
Love the brownies. Yeah. But where fairies were often mischievous, right? So they were like,
not sure if I like the benefits of keeping you out. Yeah. I mean, again, I think we've seen it in SJM's work. She definitely talks about it. It's
iron frame beds, iron doors.
Oh, poor Dorian. It's
iron caskets. Iron coffins.
Masks. I hate
iron
it.
Masks.
Yeah, we'll leave it at that. I think everyone knows what we're talking about.
I mean, even adjacent to Sarah J. Maas here is that if you go into a graveyard, especially in like New Orleans.
Oh yeah, you see the cages.
There
over
are
the
lots
top
of iron fences, lots of iron gates.
I think I sent it to you, but in this girl on Instagram was talking about the vampires in Poland.
Oh yeah.
And she was talking about how they had iron like loops around their toes to keep their souls would be like split in two, right? So it would basically bind them to the I was like, wow, that's crazy. Okay.
Wow.
yeah. So
I mean, it shows how much thought that they put into that and how much
belief was
linked to this iron.
Exactly.
And preventative of these, like, I don't know, I guess they would call them creatures.
Yeah, exactly. Or to keep evil at bay.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, just to grasp at anything they could to sort of fix and prevent those things,
right? From evil crossing into your life, right? And bells were also used for that. They're a sound ward, a sacred frequency, right? They sound, not silence, is what drives away evil in most tradition. Bells specifically because their sustained resonant metallic ring are considered uniquely powerful.
The Presbyterian church I grew up going to had bells to call people to worship, and then bells when it was over,
done.
right?
Yeah, sure.
And it's interesting because it's if they're believed to dispel storms or like protect. In my mind, it's like a protective call or like a space that they were trying to like.
Yeah. I mean,
have it safe.
It's interesting too because like there's this connotation with like the thunder, right, being like this demonic origin, right? Again, not explainable, right? So that's why they're coming up with that.
Yeah. But the bells they could control,
right?
Yeah.
It was a way of them being like, okay, well, we put this resonance out, you know, to keep it away. And wedding bells, they're not just celebratory; they are protective cacophony around a vulnerable ritual.
Yeah, I mean, any ceremony is technically a ritual.
Right.
So, you know, to ring a bell at the end of, or a chime, if you will, the end of a ceremony is actually a very prominent thing.
Yeah.
Still.
Yeah.
So,
exactly.
Yeah.
Wind chimes are a more domestic version, right?
Yeah.
I love a wind chime.
I love wind chimes too.
In many folk traditions, spirits dislike sharp, sudden metallic sounds that mimic the sound of iron. So again,
iron.
That would be, there you go. Mimicking the human world. So again, you're getting this like it's a symbolism of humans versus fae, or
like a reminder of that they're in the human world.
Yeah,
maybe they shouldn't be.
Rattles, clappers, and bells were often used in shamanistic tradition to mark a sacred space and to drive out malevolent force.
Yeah, I mean, and it makes me think of, because these were also tools like clappers and bells and that were used to make music.
Yeah.
I mean, so like I think that they also become parts of songs that are then used to sort of do the same things.
Yeah, definitely. I just think like the whole time we've been talking about this is like the resonance and the sound. I think of like the meditation bowls, like Tibetan singing bowls, you know?
I think of, what is it, The Proposal? Ryan Reynolds, Betty White.
God, so
I think of Betty White out in the woods, like with her clappers and like.
It's like my favorite thing ever,
so
to be honest with you.
I know. But that's like, that's what she's doing.
To the window.
Yeah. Obviously for protection.
Yes, for sure. Wasn't it some kind of? She was doing.
Yeah, she
some
was.
Kind of
she was doing a ritual. I just remember Sandra Bullock just starts like doing to the window, through the walls.
It's so good.
And you're like, oh, I know that song.
Yeah. And then she just like dancing. It's so funny.
Rituals.
Yeah, I mean,
more than one purpose.
Yes,
also
always
entertaining.
Well, like you were saying, the rattles, the clappers, it all starts to blend together,
it's
right?
Music. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It you could see how music could evolve from those early forms, even if they were meant as a protection or a call to
like
do something,
a real purpose.
Yeah, that it
Not just
developed
entertainment.
from that. Okay, so in Old English parishes, bell ringers were paid specifically to ring the church bells during thunderstorms. And the practice was called fending off the storm.
Okay.
It was so common and so dangerous, like standing in a tall stone tower, ringing a metal bell, right?
Yeah.
That a significant
during a lightning storm,
right?
Yeah.
So problematic. That a significant number of bell ringers died doing it.
Makes sense.
The superstition killed its practitioners, and that's how deep that belief system ran.
Right. They would risk it anyway. You have a lot of these protection charms, right? Like
stones,
things that you
charms.
can wear, necklaces, beads, evil eye, right?
Yeah.
So the evil eye is meant to fend off like curse or envy or somebody who wishes you ill, I should say.
Yeah.
Yes.
If it's meant to protect you from ill will.
Right.
Yeah.
And it comes up in many different traditions.
A lot of cultures.
Like,
yeah.
And
cool.
it's funny because I feel like everybody's like, it's ours. And I'm like,
it's not.
It's not. But
very
anyway.
rarely is it just ours. Yeah.
I just remember living in the Middle East. You see everybody trying to claim it. It's like, yeah, no, I know a lot of other people who in this same region
I'm sure over there it's
who are like No.
Yeah,
Like
it's a
the
lot of
Greeks have
people's
it,
thing. Yeah.
the Jews have it, the Spanish use it.
I think you do see it a
Influence.
lot in the med. Yeah.
Yeah. But what's interesting is that anthropologists have even found it in every continent but Australia, which makes sense because it's so isolated, right?
Yeah.
And the core belief is that a gaze charged with envy or excessive admiration, so it could go either end of the spectrum, can unintentionally or intentionally curse somebody. It's essentially the magic of envy made literal.
Ooh. Protection against the evil eye takes many forms.
Yep.
Oh, okay. The Nazar amulet, which is the blue eye symbol, which
So
is
the one that I think most people
yeah, I think most
recognize.
people have seen that one.
So the Hamsa is like the hand that
Yeah,
people have seen. It's
which
again a
I've seen that one
common
too.
theme, but it's the hand of God essentially
Okay,
for
like as a literal like protection
from
like,
that
no.
region. So
Yeah.
it's more, I would say, more closely tied to Jewish tradition, but I've
Okay.
seen Christians wearing it too. It's
Yeah.
just, it depends on who you're talking to. It's a little bit more spiritual than it is in a Christian lens, if you will.
Yeah, I mean, I think mine that I got from the shop connected to the granny witch on the top of the mountain.
Oh, of course, yes.
Yeah.
yes,
was
yes.
like this little blue beaded choker with the eye.
Ah, yes.
I had
yes,
the
yes,
eye.
yes.
Yeah. I tried to find it. I couldn't.
No, yeah, that's okay. So red string bracelets, which is very big in Kabbalah, again, related to Judaism.
Yeah.
So the protection can take all of these different forms, right? Complementing something or immediately negating the compliment. So like, God bless it, right? Spitting to break the praise, right? In Greek tradition, involves a ritual, a specific prayer over the afflicted person with olive oil dropped into water. It spreads, the evil eye is confirmed. So you have to I'll get confirmation on it, which is even more interesting. I've never heard. In Mediterranean cultures, the evil eye lands most often on beautiful children or prized livestock or new prosperity, right? So specifically anything that would invite envy.
Yeah.
Parents would deliberately put a smudge of dirt on a pretty baby's face or speak disparagingly about their own child in public to avoid attracting this gaze. So when you think of like an immigrant parent, like I just think about like they're kind of like they don't always like give you compliments right off the bat. That's definitely like a common thing that I've heard people say. Like to get a compliment from a Greek, immigrant parent or grandparent is like, wow, this means a lot, right?
You actually
but it's
mean
because
this,
they're trying not to attract this negativity,
eye,
essentially, right? This
judgment,
performance of humility is a magical defense. To brag invites the attack.
Yeah.
So this superstition enforces a social contract. Do not make others feel small by displaying what they lack. Which is interesting because it's definitely a Jewish thing. Like I definitely know that it's like very much like they're hard on their kids.
Well, and sometimes I wonder if it's like in a world where so many look a certain way, like all look, a community of people might look all very similar.
Yes.
How then if you had a child who might have fairer skin or their hair might not be as curly or just like whatever it is, however genetics played out, right? It could be looked at a certain way.
And even maybe to like not draw attention to that. So like something that is common, right? Like, this Mediterranean area, a lot of people have curly hair, dark hair, coarser hair maybe than like a, Northern European, I should say, person that you would be drawing attention to yourself.
Right.
Not necessarily
but just innately, you can't help it.
Right. And so they're trying to downplay it.
Yes, exactly.
Almost and again, for protection purposes. I love how it's framed. I actually like how it's framed as envious because it makes it seem like it's desirable.
Where you always envy what the others have. And so that's like that life lesson, I feel like.
For sure. You'd have to be happy with yourself.
Happy with what you have.
Yeah. Or you could get lucky. So luck manipulation.
Wishbones, pennies facing the right direction.
Yes, yes. Oh my
And
God.
knocking
My
on wood.
Yes, knocking on wood. So wishbones. I think everybody in the America, at least, has had a wishbone at some point.
We have turkeys.
Yes, turkey Thanksgiving,
for Thanksgiving,
wishbone, right? But it's much older than that.
Furcula.
Yeah, furcula. Yeah, sure.
Sure.
The forked clavicle of a bird is one of the oldest divination tools in the Western world. The Etruscans, pre-Roman civilization in what is now Italy, the birds were trained to peck grains from circles of letters to spell messages from the gods. The bones were preserved, and touching them was thought to transfer some of that divine connection. Romans adopted the practice, and it spread through Europe and into colonial America, hence wishbone at Thanksgiving. The wish element and the breaking to win format, largely medieval and later American addition. So that's something that comes later.
Of course we make it a competition.
Of course, I know, really.
Of course.
The ritual encodes a real idea that luck is finite and contested. When you pull the larger piece, you haven't found luck, you've won it from someone else.
Yeah, you take the luck of the person
from somebody else, which I never thought of it that way, but I feel bad now.
I was played against my brother.
So it's okay.
Yeah, it was between that. So we were like, yeah, whatever.
Yep. So in 17th century England, the wishbone was called the merry thought. And the person who broke the larger piece was supposed to have their secret wish granted.
Yeah, that's how we treated it.
Yeah, I was going to say it's what I thought. But only if they didn't reveal what it was. So kind of like a happy birthday.
Can never say,
right? Saying it out loud transferred the power into the world where it could be intercepted or corrupted.
Yeah, then it wouldn't happen.
Right.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
So you can't say it.
This early speech rule logic bleeds into the luck ritual, right? The wish and the silence are inseparable. You can't have one without
they'll
the
negate
other.
each other.
Right.
Totally.
Yeah. So pennies.
I remember this one very well because of the little rhyme, right?
Yeah.
The find a penny, pick it up, and all the day you'll have good luck.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it's longer than that, but the rhyme encoded that ancient belief of metal found on the ground is a gift from the gods or spirits or the dead, which is kind of fun. In pre-modern Europe, finding iron or copper was genuinely fortunate because these were valuable materials.
Sure. Makes
right?
sense. Yeah.
Coins specifically carried the image of rulers and deities, making them doubly powerful as symbolic and material objects. So the heads up variant, so only lucky if you see it, heads up.
Right.
Tails, just leave it, right? But if it's heads up, it's lucky. And that emerged from the coin symbolism of like head tails, right? So that's obviously came later. The head of a king or a god facing you means you have his favor, right? He's looking up.
How tails up would mean that the divine turned favor away from you. Some traditions hold that a penny found should be passed on and not kept. It's a gift from the universe that accumulates luck only when it's moving on to the next person.
Which I think is also probably a belief that came about in another area, because I know that it like the pass it on thing.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know about you, but I've been in a Starbucks line like a handful of times.
Oh, yeah.
Where the person in front of me had paid for my order and then I paid for the person behind me, and it just like becomes a whole thing.
Well, and it's also like this hoarding of the luck. Like, you don't want to hoard it, right?
But
so
it's
you're
like
passing it on to the next person. Like, if you want the luck to come back to you, then you send it back out into the world, right?
Right. But essentially it's the idea that you can, if you pass on this good luck, you still have good luck
karma.
from making good choice. Yeah, it's karma. Totally.
So the custom of putting coins on a dead person's eyes or in their mouth as payment for carrion, the ferryman of the underworld, right? Yeah. So that's from Greek mythology. The coins exist as a symbolic relationship with the dead. Or for the dead, sorry. Like, it's payment, right? It's this, so the coins become related to death, right? Instead of just
to me,
luck.
I look at it as like a respect, right? Like
you're paying
I recognize what you're, like a recognition of what they do also.
Yeah, a coin on the ground could be placed there by a spirit, especially if found near a grave or a crossroads or a threshold. Picking it up isn't just good fortune. Depending on the tradition, it could mean that you've made an agreement with whoever left it.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, it could be fun.
Yeah.
It could also go poorly. I mean, another way people used to call on or seek good luck, right? It was knocking on wood.
Yeah.
So you'd have to find a wooden door, a wooden table.
I still do that.
Yeah. I mean,
actually, it's probably the only superstition that I do now that I think about it. And I don't know why I do it.
I don't either.
Because I don't really necessarily believe it, but I have to do it.
Yeah. Well, it's like, I've been doing it this long. Like my brother in the salt. Like, I've been doing it this long. Yeah. Like,
So like if somebody says something good, right? Like, oh, I've never broken a bone, which I haven't.
Me either.
There's science behind that, apparently. But anyway.
Good, all like that, I'm sure.
You would immediately knock a wooden surface. And this becomes like an automatic superstition in our own modern life, like we were just talking about. It's something that I see people still do that all the time. That's probably a very common one.
If I'm talking about like, Owen actually slept yesterday.
Yeah.
Not gonna jinx it.
Nope.
Because like, I would like him to keep doing that.
Exactly. And it can be performed in almost like an unconscious way.
Yeah.
Like, I think sometimes like with the salt, you might like think about it, right? Whereas this one, it's like
it's such a like, I don't even have, it doesn't require much thought.
Exactly. The origins are genuinely debated, of course.
It's so probably so spread, prevalent,
right?
Yeah.
But the leading theories all converge. Trees are believed to house spirits, nature deities, or the divine. Knocking asks permission. Knocking woke a spirit that could protect you. Knocking was a communication in a living world.
Yeah.
So it makes a lot of sense, actually, if you're trying to call on this, not like
like why, what's the reason? That's probably also the reason you knock on a door before you enter it.
Totally, because it's wood.
Yeah. They all used to be wood, right? Our doors aren't solid wood anymore, right? But they used to be.
Oh, I never thought of that.
So that's why you knock before you enter.
It's permission to go inside.
It's granting permission.
Yeah, I love that. Oh, I never thought of it that way, but okay. In British and Irish folklore, this connection to tradition of knocking trees 3 times before cutting them.
Yeah.
I've heard of that for sure.
Or like with the Lorax, right? Like it's a thing.
You ask the tree's spirit to leave before felling it. Some indigenous North American traditions, trees are understood as ancestors. Yeah.
Like the willow.
Yeah.
Grandmother willow.
I love that.
Yeah.
And any interaction requires acknowledgement. The reflex can carry today that automatic knock after good news. It is a stripped, secular, reduced version of it, but it's still this, connection to this natural thing, right? Like, there's an alternative theory that is interesting. There's an alternative theory worth raising. In medieval times, the Catholic Church had relics, pieces of the true cross, or claimed to be. And touching them is considered enormously protective. Knocking on wood may have begun as a touching of the fragment of this sacred wood and a gesture of humility before God. But both theories have like their place, but none of them really.
I mean, I think the concept is still the same,
it's the
right?
Same.
That's something you're calling on something else,
right?
To bring luck,
help. Yeah, exactly.
So, sure, fine. Yeah, I mean, knocking on wood isn't actually about the wood.
No,
I think is the point,
yes,
right?
Yes, it's about the fortune that comes with this. Like, what? I know I can't. It's terrible. This is why we can't.
I'm singing in my head, and I just said about. It is about the wood, though. Sometimes
it is about the wood.
We're almost there.
I know. Okay.
It's about the admission that good luck is temporary, unearned, and requires gratitude.
So again, with the penny, it's like the same thing. It's like the passing on of the luck. It's never always yours. Like you don't get to hold on to it.
the luck doesn't always belong to you.
Right.
And every luck superstition encodes a worldview where fortune is not a possession, but a relationship, which is cool.
Yeah.
Because it's how we were talking about with the land, with the mountains, with the water, with the sky, right? Is that these things are a relationship.
Yeah. And like connection again to community, right? Like, so these superstitions are again at like the bottom of this,
so this
funnel.
is like a more,
so we're like connecting it back up to folklore a little bit, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we can't stop in our heads going
I keep
to
laughing
Wood by Taylor Swift. It's like literally impossible.
I keep laughing because I can't
get past it in my brain.
This entire segment, I've been singing that in my head.
I know.
And
because the entire song is superstition.
Full of superstition.
And we have an evil genius on
a
our
mastermind,
hands, right?
if you will.
Yeah. I mean, it's the first thing I thought of when I was like, oh, perfect. We got to bring
perfect
that up.
for us.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we made a list of all of the things that she brings up in the song.
Just to hone our minds in, because again, I was already laughing before we even made it here. Yeah.
Yeah. So obviously knocking on wood to ward off bad luck, right?
Yeah. And not to jinx something good.
Right.
Yeah.
And then she references a black cat, a classic omen of bad luck in Western culture. I mean, that's...
The black cat laughed.
Yes, the black cat laughed.
So he's just, sort of laughing at your misfortune.
Exactly.
Which is so good.
That's great.
And she loves cats. So it's also so good.
Yeah.
Stepping on a crack.
Oh, yes. So that's another rhyme from our childhood. I would imagine
step on your crack, you break your mother's back.
Which is terrible.
Don't
hate
break
that.
your mom's back.
Don't do that. Mine's already
she
broken.
stepped on a crack, so there was some bad luck happening.
Yeah,
there
it's
too.
like she was just in like this full-on bad luck spell.
Yeah, she stepped on a crack. The black cat laughed.
Yes,
like it just
exactly
so good.
What else? Lucky and unlucky pennies. Again, we kind of just talked about that.
Yeah.
The flower petal fortune telling. So at the very beginning of the song, right? Daisies bare naked, I was distraught. So
he loves me, he loves me not.
Right?
He loves me.
So that is like, a romantic
I remember doing that
divination.
as a child, just like
not really
in my little fairy garden, not knowing what I'm doing, just being a child.
Yes, exactly. But I think that's such a good one, especially for the context of the song. It's talking about romantic relationships and how she's had bad luck and how
it hasn't always gone how she thought it would.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's
wishing
very
on
good.
A star.
Manifestation. Yeah, fate.
Yes. Again, right? We
catching the bouquet at a wedding. Yeah.
Catching the bouquet is so interesting because I feel like a lot of people don't do it anymore.
We did it.
I did it, but I can.
That was 10 years ago now.
I have seen people not do it.
Oh,
I've seen people give it to their mom. It's really nice.
Oh.
Instead. Anyway, so a curse that was broken. The curse on me was broken by your magic wand.
Well,
sure.
Yep.
But again, the mystery here, right, is obviously double entendre, but
but it's
curse breaking,
like fairy magic.
Magic. Yeah. And then making your own luck, right? So this that's more of a modern idea, but you can make your own fate. You have your own choice. You have autonomy in it, right?
And for her, that's her full circle moment.
Exactly.
Is like experiencing all of these
the hardships
and maybe struggling with luck.
Yes.
And it coming back around.
Right. Exactly.
Where she's made, I think she has to feel like she has not earned her fate.
Yeah. In that way. Well, and if you think about luck, right, it comes back around. So she was putting luck into the world, put the luck into it from other parts of her life.
Tried.
And now
it's not like she's never tried.
Right.
Yeah.
And then now it's come back around to her. So
and she also, like with her lucky number 13, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
And there's lots of things for her.
She's got to be superstitious.
I think I think she thinks about it.
Definitely. This song to me is just amazing.
So like Taylor herself even says about this song that she used to rely on omens and luck rituals because love felt so uncertain to her.
Yeah.
And then she was just kind of like, now I don't.
Yeah. Now I
and
don't
we're
have
like,
to.
well, we get why.
Because you have your redwood tree.
Yeah. So she's fine. She's fine now. She has big, strong man.
Yes. She's small girl now.
No more little British men for her.
No. No more. Enough.
Yeah. She's done with that.
Yeah.
So
I think it's perfect for this episode. It just like
it's so
great.
good.
Yeah. So to move away from maybe the more fun superstitions, we're going to head to some.
Well, these are fun in a different way.
Spooky.
Because I think like to this point, we've spoken a lot about liminal spaces and transitions. And so going into these death boundaries, so like with mirrors, windows, whistles, and omens, it feels right.
Yeah,
I mean,
definitely.
you know, it's just a big piece of all of this too.
Yeah.
So mirrors, which I definitely read a little bit more into with mirrors.
Yeah.
But so they were used for soul trapping.
Yeah.
And like sort of how we see them in like Disney stories is more of the like reflection lore. But
yes. But here it's like where if you're newly departed, right? You could be stuck in this
like an in between in that liminal space. So you're like sort of stuck there.
How we talked about last week with the blue porches, confusing spirits, right?
Yeah.
A mirror also would confuse a new spirit and would maybe, because again, the boundaries are different, right? So they could pass into the mirror and they would get stuck inside of it. So they
couldn't get back out.
They would cover these mirrors in order to keep that from happening. And that's super common. I've heard that from many different places.
Lots of different cultures. A mirror doesn't just reflect your face.
Right.
It captures your soul.
Right.
Or like your image double.
Yes.
The spiritual impression of, I was such a Snow White girly.
Oh, yeah.
And my grandmother's big iron mirror. I was very
convinced
that as much as I would try, someone would talk back to me, right? I'm like, okay, this has to work. But yeah, I literally would stand in front of that mirror in my little Snow White dress because I wore that all the time.
Oh, yes.
And I would do the whole thing of like, mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all?
Yeah.
And hope that someone would answer me.
Yeah,
and,
well,
sorry. They didn't, but childhood me was really hoping.
Yeah, well, I don't blame you.
And of all the mirrors, really felt like that would be the one.
A good one. You again had good instincts. And then also if it shatters, not good. 7 years.
And you've shattered a piece of yourself or like your soul, right?
So
like when a mirror breaks, it fragments the soul.
Oh, yeah. Okay, sure. So the Romans believed that the soul renewed itself in a 7-year cycle. So that's why you get this 7 years of bad luck.
I mean, I know for a lot of cultures, I guess we have with Jewish tradition, Victorian England, I mean, even some still today, we'll cover when someone dies. You cover the mirrors.
Yeah, that's definitely like when
it's like draping the cloths around the mirrors.
So in Jewish tradition, when you sit shiva, which is basically awake, it's the same idea. You go into days of mourning, right? Where you eat a lot of good food and you sit together and you hang out with your family.
So
and
nice.
It's very nice. Yeah. It's a little bit more personal than awake. Like you might have a lot of people there, but it's more.
You would think probably more family or like close family.
More people for that because it's like I said, it could be however long you want it to be, right? But you definitely cover up the mirrors. It's interesting.
I was just thinking, like in Frozen, how when the parents die, they cover up all the pictures too.
Mm-hmm. It's the same idea.
Yeah,
it's like again this liminal thing of like. If you have a photograph or again like Victorians, right? So like they took postmortems.
Mm-hmm.
Why didn't you just?
Victorians.
Yeah.
Victorians had a lot of stuff.
A postmortem photograph.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Victorian England is
creepy. Yes,
special place.
Interesting. And a lot of it's still like
it
bleeds into
moved
today.
Into Appalachia.
Again, the soul would get trapped inside the mirror if you kept it uncovered. It's like just keep it. It's basically like this. The spirit would be stuck in our current world instead of going to the after.
Right. Or like if they get trapped in this mirror, of course they're going to want a way out. right?
Well, that
So
too,
you
yeah.
wouldn't necessarily want to be looking at mirrors at that point either. So
Nope,
it just
I
seems
don't
smart
like
to
that.
go ahead and
Yep.
cover that.
The word I hate when in like a scary thing or like whatever, and then inside the mirror like goes a different way. I'm like, oh, I don't like that at all. Like
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think what we see is all of the versions of this share the logic that mirrors are openings and not just surfaces, right? That I don't want to say a portal because that feels like a stretch, but it's treated again like a liminal space, like a spot where,
which is interesting when you think of Throne of Glass.
Well, because what did they use the mirrors for? Yeah, I mean, it just is very,
and even the witch towers,
giant ones. Yeah. I mean, again, Sarah likes this stuff.
She does.
So again, I'm picturing like a liminal space, and sort of
yes.
that reflection that maybe something's there that you wouldn't see otherwise.
Right.
But because glass is reflective.
Right. Well, and like again, like if your soul can be trapped inside of it, like, and it fractures your soul if it breaks, like I can see how
Then
it
you're
becomes you're seeing things about you that you might not see in the
like Harry Potter.
the mirror of Ursid.
Yep.
In Harry Potter.
Yeah, where you see your greatest desire, which Harry saw his parents, or like his family, him with his family specifically.
I know.
And so much so that he kept wanting to go there to see that. Yeah.
Oh,
sad. Yeah. But that's the picture. I mean, that makes it a little less spooky, is that like
true. That makes it not
mirrors can
scary.
reflect that as
yes. Yeah, true. So
yep, another liminal space here.
Windows.
Oh man. Yep. Soul passage and a death portal.
Yep.
So it's very similar to is like when someone dies, cover the mirrors and you open your windows.
Oh, open everything out. Yeah, I saw that a lot with the Appalachian stuff.
Yeah, no, that's actually very true. I mean, we didn't have anyone die, but like a lot of times if we were grumpy or like we were all like bickering and fighting, my mom would just she would open all the windows, let some fresh air in. And she'd be like, you guys need help. Like,
yeah, I mean, it's again, another common thing, again, probably just over time it has spread, right? It explains why a death that happens in a sealed, windowless room carries like an additional like dread, right?
Yeah.
It feels like stagnant or feels like it's still there, right?
Totally.
And I just thinking about like going into a house where people have died, like you get that feeling, right?
Yeah.
Even if it's been hundreds of years, right? Like that's why old houses feel a certain way. They feel different than a brand new construction, right?
Yeah. I mean, I particularly like going into older buildings or churches, or like I've done catacombs right overseas, and
you can feel it.
You feel it.
Oh yeah.
And sometimes it really doesn't feel good.
No.
And you're like, okay, well, I should probably get out of here.
Definitely.
I think that, I mean, a soul that cannot escape a room because it's trapped or confused could be dangerous.
Definitely.
I mean, they want out. They're not necessarily poor meaning, but you probably don't want that soul to stick around.
No,
you want to let it move on.
Right. And I guess it would be the same thing as so once you have opened it all, then you would want to close them so that they're not coming back inside.
And I think that there was like a certain time.
I would imagine.
Yeah.
In some English and Welsh folk traditions, bees were told about a death in the family. And the beekeeper would go to the hive, knock, and formally announce the death, sometimes tying a black ribbon to the hive.
Oh.
If the bees were told, they would leave or die. This is the same logic as the window. The natural world is connected to the human world, and it must be kept informed. I've heard this with other things, actually, not with bees, but with like the trees, like you tell the trees things, and
it's a similar
idea.
Yeah, where it's in a spot where you might be more isolated from others, is that telling nature helps spread the word.
Right.
I mean, it
death
seems weird to us because we're so removed from that.
For sure. Yeah, like death requires this announcement, right? It needs to be.
You can't always have a banshee.
No, exactly.
You know?
The living owe the dead proper farewell, through the windows, through the bees, through an open door.
Yeah. And essentially the idea is the same. It's a scatter. It's a release. Yeah. So on land, whistling at night is broadly discouraged across Asian, Eastern European, and Latin American folk traditions. As we saw, also Appalachia. Yes. In Korea, whistling at night calls snakes.
Oh, okay.
In Russian and Baltic states, it brings poverty or bad spirits.
Okay.
And in many South Asian traditions, whistling after dark calls wandering souls.
Oh, okay.
Problematic, yeah.
Sounds like Appalachia.
It does, yeah. I mean, the convergence is striking. Nighttime sound, especially unprompted, free-floating sound with no clear source, invites the wrong attention.
Sure.
Yeah, you could see how it might be not necessarily misleading, but like ominous kind of, where you're like, all right, wait, what?
Yeah. Well, and in a place where you don't see a lot for miles, right? Like on the ocean, on the water, with sailors, their tradition is that whistling on a ship summons storms.
Oh.
So again, you're not summoning something from the forest, you're summoning something that you can't, it's so far off in the distance you wouldn't even know, right?
Yeah.
So you don't whistle at sea. I didn't know that. This is a taboo you see across Norse, British, and American maritime culture with extraordinary consistency. The logic is that the wind is a force with agency. To whistle is to call
upon
invite
something.
it. Again, the same idea, to challenge it. At sea, where the wind determines survival, it isn't superstition, it's just respect.
Huh. Yeah. And I was just thinking, I think of like the Hunger Games and they're,
oh my God,
I don't want to whistle, but like,
it's nighttime. We don't whistle at nighttime
we're
anymore.
out. But they whistle
to call each
other. Yeah. And like birds have whistles that also
likes
to call each other.
So in the Scottish Highlands, women were the ones most often associated with weather working, witches who could whistle up storms to sink ships.
Oh, it's all our plan.
Yeah, of course. Sailors would pay charm women for bags of wind, knotted ropes with 3 ties, 3 knots.
Yeah, because that's how they.
Untie 1 knot for a mild breeze, 2 for a strong wind. Never untie the third. The third held the tempest. This is a monetized superstition, a market built entirely on the anxiety of men who understood that weather could kill them and women were said to command it. Which is really interesting because it's very opposite from how it usually is, right? It's like the women are holding the power here.
Well, I think in my head, the women either wanted to keep the men safe or they were like, get out of here.
I could see they're like, we could use this to our advantage here.
Be rid of you, sailors. Or also, no, come back. You give us lots of money and business.
Exactly. So omens, right? Recognizing a pattern.
Foretelling death.
Yeah, exactly. Death omens are the superstition category where folklore intersects the most specific, like directly with psychology of grief. The common thread is that the world signals a death before it happens. A bird hits a window.
The raven watching you. Yeah.
Specifically a bird entering the house. So like an owl or a robin. A clock stops at the moment of death. A dog howls at nothing for hours at the night before. Candles and lamps extinguishing by themselves. These omens, in part, are a grief processing mechanism.
Yeah.
They retroactively make death legible. They were signs. They were helping make it feel like it was less shocking or sudden, right?
Or giving you maybe a hint of something to come. Like in a time that's really is very
sad and hard. Yeah.
Just sort of desperate to find any meaning in the loss or in an incident.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I think it would also have you pay attention to what's happening around you, right? Because if you're looking for these signs, you're probably paying a little more attention to the smaller things,
right?
Or
and
something
that nature's communicating with you to help you along this path, right? The price of not listening is being caught off guard by death, right? So like we were talking about before, the banshee, right?
Yeah.
She's the purest form of a death omen, right? She doesn't cause it, she just announces it. In Irish tradition, she's attached to the specific family lines, and her wail means one of yours is dying, so you would know that it's related to your
it's your
family.
warning. And I mean, we talked about her already, but people feared her, but it was
People who didn't understand what
people
she
didn't.
represents. Yeah.
Yeah, or like maybe her
because it's
her screech was
sound.
alarming.
Mhm.
But it was alarming for a reason.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah,
And
an alarm is
you
like
need
it's
to
an
hear
alarm,
it. Yeah,
right?
like a fire alarm. Like
Mhm.
you're alarmed to get up in the morning. Like
Exactly.
it's still necessary.
Right.
So
Exactly. Don't shoot the messenger.
yeah, truly.
She exists in this liminal space again, right?
Where she has knowledge of
what's to come
in both sides.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, like she gets to know what's coming and then also
Is there
inform
in
the
the
people
present.
who are
Yeah.
in the present. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And again, liminal spaces,
These
threshold rules, right? So doorways, crossroads, forests,
and
and
nighttime in
night
general.
itself, as we've talked about quite a lot. These spaces keep coming up.
They really do. I think, again, because there's so much misunderstood
Mystery.
and mystery around these liminal spaces, because you can't exist in them and also
No, true. Yeah.
like, so we don't have any concrete. I think that's why it's hard to understand, is there's not a lot of definites in that world.
Yeah.
But the threshold is the most charged space in folk belief. So a doorway is neither inside nor outside.
True. It's like a seam.
Yeah, a seam being controlled. It's the seam between controlled and uncontrolled spaces, which is a really cool way to look at that.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, the
like
connector.
It's where it's knotted together.
Yep, woven together,
Yes,
if you
woven.
will. Between the known world and everything else. So every culture has threshold rules, right? Carry a new bride over the threshold. She cannot step over it unprotected. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Don't stand in a doorway. You're blocking passage in both directions.
Okay.
Never pass an object hand to hand across the threshold. Set it down and let the other person pick it up.
Oh, interesting.
So, like, don't hand things out of a door.
Yeah.
Huh.
I'm thinking like somebody
There's no
handing
direct.
it to you.
If you're
through
standing
the
there,
door.
I'm gonna hand it to you. I don't know. I wouldn't like
I
just
don't
put
think
it
I've
down
ever
and
done
make
that,
you pick
though,
it
to
up.
be honest with you, though. Like not on purpose, but I don't know if I've ever done that.
I've tried it with food, like DoorDash.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Cursed food.
Sure. So mezuzah in Jewish tradition, they're mini Torahs that you hang on the threshold of your door when you have a new house, and the rabbi comes and blesses your house. You have like a blessing. It's a house blessing, essentially.
Yeah. I've heard of house blessings.
And it's like a horseshoe over your door, or painted hex signs in Pennsylvania Dutch barns, right?
Yeah.
Rowan branches hung at Beltane. All are threshold protections because it's something malevolent that wants to enter, right? I also think of like in the Prince of Egypt when they put like the blood, like the lamb's blood over the door so that the plague doesn't hit them, essentially. It makes the door itself sacred, and you built a filter for it, right?
Yeah, truly a filter for your liminal space.
Yeah, exactly.
Sure. The Roman god Janus, two-faced, looking both ways, was the deity of doorways, beginnings, and transitions. So January is named for him.
I love that.
The threshold month.
It's the beginning. Yeah, between the beginning and the end of the year.
Has to be a piece of why we celebrate New Year's there. I don't always see it as that way.
Yeah.
But I think that's probably,
we can get into
maybe
that
that's
in
where
episode,
it is coming from.
Yeah.
That just clicked in my head.
No, that makes sense.
The threshold month, the door between the old and the new. His two faces weren't sinister. They were practical. So to stand at a door is to see two worlds at once.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So you could see, so maybe from him, like your past and then your future. Yeah. Sure. The superstitions around doorways are applied to daily life. You can't cross safely without acknowledging what you're leaving and where you're going, where you're entering.
For sure.
Yeah.
And you have the same thing at a crossroads.
Right. Where you can choose, you look back and you can choose to stay.
Right.
Or you can move forward.
Right. And you have two paths, neither belongs to anybody, right?
Yeah.
You're in this, again, liminal space where it's unmaintained, ungoverned,
unknown. Yeah.
Equidistant. Okay.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Sorry. Equidistant from all human settlements, right? So back to Hecate, right?
Very Hecate coded. Yeah.
The goddess of the crossroads. She stood where three roads met. The trivia. The
Three
Latin
ways.
for three ways.
Yep.
Never thought of that. Holding torches accompanied by her dogs. She presided over magic, ghosts, and choices that cannot be undone. In African American Southern folklore, most famously in blues tradition, you could go to a crossroad at midnight and meet the devil.
Yeah.
Who would tune your guitar and take your soul. Oh, is that like
the fiddle?
Yeah. Okay,
yeah.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Like the devil went down to Georgia.
Yes.
Colonialism and Christianity translate the intermediate spirit into the devil. So
Yeah.
Again, this liminal thing is not evil. It's just in between. In between the living and the dead, or between two choices, right?
And it's also a hard space, like mentally to be
purgatory,
in, right?
or
where it's a struggle. You don't maybe know the right path, and
both seems okay at the time, right?
Yeah, as we talked about with Appalachia, right, is a big part of this is the forests. Another sort of wild space that is often associated with our little people, our fade territory. Yeah.
For sure.
Or maybe just sort of unknown in general.
Yeah.
Because the forest is the original human fear. Before cities, before walls, humans lived where trees ended and danger began.
Yeah.
The forest is where you are not necessarily safe, and it stems from maybe not being seen or not being governed, right, in a land
not controlled
where
by
there's
humans.
not a human control put in place there.
Right. Yeah. Every fairy tale sends a child into the woods, right? And it's activating this ancient code that the forest is other. Don't go at dusk. Don't step off the path.
Yeah, follow the trail.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Don't follow anything that you hear, right? You don't eat anything. Don't eat any berries,
Yeah. Don't take anything that's offered to you. Like,
just thinking of Shrek. Sorry, that's why I'm laughing. Where he's like, blue flower, red thorns. So it'd be so much easier if I wasn't colorblind.
One wrong move and you're dead.
I cannot do an episode. I will quote the entire movie the whole time.
It's so good, though.
It's so good. I know.
Yeah. Shrek is a good one.
It's so funny.
My kids think donkey is the funniest thing.
Bronson was also Bronson called it Shrek and the Gingerbread Man. I was like, he's literally in the movie for about 5.
But sure, but it's hilarious. That's the reason why my children
Man thing is like so funny.
They eat the legs first of their gingerbread men because then he can't run away.
I love it.
Yeah, my sister.
That sounds superstitious. Yeah, the rules about the forest are almost always don'ts, right?
Yeah, they never tell you what to do.
Yeah, it seems odd.
They're like,
hey,
don't do this.
Because the forest itself has agency in folk belief. It can mislead you, like a fairy path or fairy portals, right?
Yeah.
Like a fairy trap.
Oh, the fairy trap. Yeah.
And or a will-o'-wisp,
will-o'-wisps, yeah.
And it can transform you. This forest is a space where the normal human rules just don't apply, and beings who live there know that and use it to their advantage.
Yeah.
So I think in German and Slavic folklore, you see a lot of that, right? Forest being this liminal situation. I mean, the Black Forest and
very dense.
It's dense and encompasses a lot of that area, right? Yeah. And it had a lot of specific rules, right? So the Leshy, which is a Slavic folklore or a Slavic forest deity, will lead you astray unless you take off your shoes and put them on backwards and sit down, signaling that you are lost and you need guidance. Sounds like me in the woods. The spirit responds to humility. It has no patience for arrogant the arrogant or the distracted. You don't survive by being powerful. You just have to know the rules.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's, again, all enforcing this like knowledge is power thing. And knowledge is a respect thing.
Right.
So, I mean, if you enter the woods knowing nothing, something bad is probably going to happen. Like, I mean, I just like going out on the water and not knowing anything about the currents.
No, exactly.
Or the wind would just be detrimental.
Or
the weather.
Yeah,
exactly. It could be very detrimental. So it's a very similar thing.
Definitely.
Happening here.
I mean, you survive by following the rules that you're told and knowing when to stop.
Yeah. Because especially when a lot of these things were not known and documented and charted and, put on an app for us to know.
Exactly.
There were other ways. This is a way to keep you safe.
There's no Garmin
it
GPS
wasn't guaranteed.
keeping us from going too deep or too shallow.
Or running our boats around, right? Like we know the woods are obviously more treacherous at night because you can't see.
Can't see anything.
And I don't want to be there if I can't see anything.
Definitely.
That sounds like a good way to get lost or eaten or worse.
And like we said in Appalachia, the rules are not arbitrary.
If you plan to live, listen.
Yep. Yeah. It's the pre-electric human experience of genuine darkness. Like we don't even experience that.
No,
very
not
rarely
really.
are in the dark.
Dark. Yeah, I mean, again, we're not whistling. We're not calling anyone by their name.
Yeah, we're not drawing attention to ourselves. I mean, that's the biggest thing at night. Like, keep to yourself. Don't attract attention.
My dad always, like, even as a teenager, right, if we left the house late, he would be like, nothing good happens after midnight.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And I mean,
I truly, firmly believe that nothing good happens after 2 a.m.
Oh, okay.
I mean, if you really want to put a number on it,
3
a.m. is the witching hour.
I'm surprised it's not the hours between 4 and 8 or 4 and bedtime.
Truly.
That's witching hour in this house.
Hour in my house. 5 p.m.
Yeah.
is like the worst.
Yeah.
But the witching hour being 3 a.m. is a relatively recent concept, but it encodes something much older. The hour furthest from the noon sun, the midpoint of night, right? So it's when protective forces are at their lowest ebb. In Catholic tradition, 3 a.m. is a dark inversion of 3 p.m. crucifixion hour. Interesting. Supernatural events, hauntings.
Anti-grace.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. A moment of anti-grace.
Yeah. So like an opposite there.
Right. Makes sense.
Antithesis.
Yeah. Supernatural events, hauntings, and appearances cluster in folklore around midnight, 3 a.m. Around midnight and 3 a.m., not because the spirits obey a clock, but because humans fear the dark and needed to name like a worst time for it, which both of those make a lot of sense.
Sure. Yep.
My sister used to work for Van Cleef and Arpels.
Yeah.
And they have a really interesting connection to luck. So their house has been long associated itself with luck, destiny, protection, serendipity, and symbolic charms. Their designs often use the 4-leaf clover. Stars, butterflies, hearts, and celestial images, right? So these are all historically tied to omens, transformations, blessings, or protection. So the Alhambra collection, which is I'll put a picture, is their most iconic motif, is the clovers that pretty much everybody, I think, has seen if they know what Van Cleef is, right? It was introduced in 1968 and is explicitly inspired by the 4-leaf clover, luck symbols, and positive fortune. So Jacques Arpels famously believed to be lucky, you have to believe in luck.
Yeah.
That just makes a lot of sense. And like we were saying, you have to pass this luck on, right? So it's not, random.
It's karma related. Yeah.
Right. And it proves that the people are still wearing talismans of luck without even knowing it. Right?
Yeah.
So we just aestheticize them, essentially, right? Like the ancient people wore these iron charms or protective amulets or evil eye bracelets. Modern people are wearing Van Cleef clovers, birthstone necklaces, zodiac jewelry, lucky rings, tennis bracelets, all of these things that are gifted for milestones, right? It's the same instinct, but in a different package. I mean, historically, jewelry is very rarely just decorative, right? And it often represents status or divine favor, fertility, luck, spirituality, or safety, right? So Van Cleef is, unintentionally continuing this ancient tradition, um, wearing symbols that influence your fate.
Yeah, I mean, it's a calling to what you want.
Right.
Or like want to be.
Yeah.
Or like an
It's an
aspiration, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like if you put that out, it's the idea of like with it being
the
karmic,
karma.
as you put it out there and you hope that it comes to you.
Back.
Comes
Exactly.
back to you.
Yeah.
So wearing it seems
lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think in part at least they survive because there's an element of fun.
Yes.
Where it's easy for us to laugh at these now because we're removed from those
from
dangers.
The true danger, right? Like all of it seems like frivolous.
It's unserious. Yeah, it's unserious,
right? But in it at the time, it was something that made you feel better, right?
That made their day-to-day life even just a little more serious or meaningful, or gave it a different purpose, I guess,
exactly.
or a purpose in general.
And it's connected to like our human experience as a community, right? Like it has this connection that my grandmother used to tell me this, or my dad used to do this, or whatever. That connects you to your family or your culture or something, right?
And I feel like
bigger than you. Yeah,
totally. And I think the kids even now, right, jump over cracks and think it's just like this fun game because they've seen other kids do it, and and so on and so on. It's just it continues to be game now.
Exactly. But it was something that in times of uncertainty or, illness or,
I do wonder
strive, right?
who broke their mom's back from stepping on a crack,
I do wonder what
I wonder how that happened.
Origin
like, what's that original
from.
crack?
That's a good question. Yeah, and I mean, we still see people all doing all these superstitions of wearing lucky socks or,
backwards hat.
Exactly.
Inside out clothes. I mean,
or just avoiding people who put off a bad vibe, right?
Yeah.
Like it's we still see that happening, and we're romanticizing this manifestation a little bit, but it's still something that we do.
Yeah.
So we clearly take it seriously to some extent, right?
Serious enough to where we are, centuries removed here
from most of this, right? The originals, anyway.
Yeah, and the fact that they live on in this way still, even in a more unserious manner,
I mean, we pretend like we're completely rational creatures, but we aren't. We still are living like in a place of uncertainty and not control like we wish we had, right?
Right. I think humans will always grasp at control.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I think, or at least I hope that's something we continue to see, because I think that that's how societies grow.
Yeah,
I mean, I think
so.
You have to continue to try to learn about your world, because otherwise you fall in a place of misunderstanding, right?
Yeah, definitely. And I think superstition falls in between like logic and hope, right?
Totally.
So it's not totally based off of nothing, but it's also not totally out of nowhere either. It's somewhere in the middle, and allowing both of those to exist makes it easy for anybody to grasp onto, right?
Yeah,
even someone.
I like that. Yeah. I mean, maybe the reason these beliefs survive isn't because humans are foolish. It's because deep down, humans have always understood that life contains forces larger than us, right? And we so often, obviously, you can't always see these forces, and there isn't
like
a manual for this.
There's no like
right?
manual for grief or for chance or for death or nature or things that you don't have control over, right? You have to find a way to make them less daunting.
Totally.
And easier to
I mean, the
digest.
uncertainties were a really big piece of everyday life.
Yeah.
and a degree of that still today. But instead of surrendering to it and just think, oh, well, it is what it is,
we try
to figure it out,
right.
Try to solve it, try to understand it. It doesn't have to necessarily always be control, but an understanding, a relationship, respect. Yeah.
It's superstitious behavior.
It is.
Well, I think that's all we have.
Yeah, there are a lot of superstitions. And so
we would love to hear other people's superstitions. That
or if you have one that you remember, maybe a family member teaching you about, or a fun one that has been passed down for you, we'd love to hear about it. We know we've forgotten some. We know that there are so many.
There's so many. It's impossible to cover them all. But I think,
but they're so fun, and that's superstitious behavior.
All right. Till next time, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
If you enjoyed this episode, please follow Goddess Behavior and leave a review. It helps other legendary mortals find us.
Questions are always welcome. No oracle required.
Stay bold.
Stay curious.
That's Goddess Behavior.